Hello, so the colours we're going to use today are Prussian blue and the cobalt blue. I've got cerulean, I've got indigo, I've also got ultramarine, I've got the turquoise blue, and I've got blue grey deep. So really big selection of blues here, and I thought it'd be nice to firstly do a cream underneath. So I've got this rose beige. I'm using a flat brush and cold pressed watercolour paper, and we are covering that page with that lovely cream. And then we're gathering the blues and we're making these shapes. So we're sort of doing a layering process, getting the first colour down and then layering over the top and around. So just adding layers of different blues. And then when that's dry, we have grabbed a pen and we're just doing some mark making. We're then adding some lovely luscious bits of acrylic paint and just putting dots and marks all over the page and adding some acrylic ink. So I've got this painting that I did a week or so ago, and I really like it, and I thought it'd be quite nice to cut out some of these shapes and reutilise. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I thought I love these shapes and I think it looked really good to use them as a collage on something else. So I'm not sure, like I said, what I'm going to do with it, but I thought, well, let's get started. Let's cut the shapes out and then we'll work it out from there. And that's how a lot of my art starts. I really don't know what I'm doing until I get into it and then something emerges, which I love that when that happens. It gives you a sense of freedom, and sometimes it doesn't work and you think, oh well, that didn't work, did it? Oh, I've spent all that time. But then other times I'm actually quite pleased with how it turned out. So I'm just going to utilise these paintings, cut them out. Like I say, I have no plan, and then we will see how this turns out as time goes on. Got my cold pressed watercolour paper all taped down, and I'm going to use a yellow brown. This is from the Kuretake, the 24, the Art Nouveau range, and I'm just going to add this colour onto the page. So liberally put the colour down and spreading it, pouring it out of the pan. This is just a background colour to the page, so I'm not worrying too much about it, just getting it down, and then I'm going to need to wait till that dries before I can do anything else to it. So I've got these lovely crimping scissors with a lovely serrated edge, and I thought it'd be nice to just edge the page. So I'm going to use this as my guide as I'm cutting. So as I'm doing this, so it's just going to have a little bit of a white edge to it. So I've got a larger piece of watercolour paper, again cold pressed, and I am going to tape that down. So this is a larger piece than the piece that we've already got. The other piece is a 5-ish, this is more a 4. So I'm going to tape it down and then just doing that last edge, and then we're going to choose a colour. So I've just decided to go for the indigo. I've got a big flat brush and I'm going to just get this paint onto the page. I want to cover it, I want it to be saturated in colour, but I don't want it to be too wet that we end up with big cauliflowers on there. So I'm going to try and be careful. As careful as I can be anyway, and get this colour on, just pouring a bit out of the pan there and then spreading that colour across the page. So the paint is lovely and dry, and I've got a black Uniball Posca pen, and I thought it'd be nice if we could just outline the edge of the paper. So we're going to make a sort of frame for our picture by adding this border, all heated up nicely, and it peels off lovely. Really easy to peel off once you apply that heat. So I've got some glue, I've got a brush, I've got the original page. I'm just going to add some glue. And I'm just going to put that liberally on. I don't like to waste my watercolour paper, so this particular picture I thought it was alright. I enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't one that I was going to put in a frame, so I've just utilised the back of this page. And then I'm going to turn it over and try to get this in the centre. Let's have a look. And I am going to put a weight on that. Okay, so that's sort of stuck down, and now I'm going to get all the lovely pieces that I've cut out previously, and I'm going to start adding them to the page. So I'm just going to make some flower shapes. So putting the glue on and placing these petals on. I have previously just sort of mapped it out, you know, made sure that I like where I'm going to put these. But then you take it off and you're a bit like, oh, where did that go? Did that go there? I'm not quite sure, but that's okay. I'm just going to go with the flow. Just see what happens. Might work out, might not. It doesn't matter. I'm sure it'll be fine. Actually, I think I'm going to see whether I can put that one under there like that. And then I really like this one, so I want that one to be on top. Placing that over the top like that. I think that looks kind of nice. Again, just placing them on the page, hoping that it's going to work out. And maybe I can move them if it isn't exactly where I want it, because it is still all wet, the glue. But I want to get it on the corners because I don't want them popping up like that one just has. I've got a larger one here. Grabbing the glue, putting it here, hoping it's going to work out. Grabbing some more glue, and get it all over my hands. Okay, so I'm going to get this, a little bit of foam board, and then weight my picture down. So I've got a medium-sized brush here, and I've got the colours that we've already used. I'm not even washing the brush. Just going in, adding darker, lighter colours, whatever I want to do, wherever. So we can add some detail into these once they are dry. So the paint is now dried, and I've got some gold acrylic ink, and I just want to add some centres to these flowers. I thought that would pretty them up and just make them look lovely. So just adding dots of this acrylic ink in circles around what I've already done. I've let that dry, and I've now got a Uniball broad pen. So just adding some detail on there, some little lines going away from the centre, and then I've got a blue gel pen, and I thought it'd be fun just to outline the edges of that. That just makes the gold pop a little bit. And then I thought the border was a little bit boring, so I've grabbed an acrylic paint pen and thought it'd be nice to just outline the white border there, just going around. Haven't measured this out, I'm not using a ruler, just doing it freehand. And once I've done that, I've then got the gold pen again and just gone inside of those black pens. So I think it's turned out really well. I am really happy with it, and I really like the picture, and I love utilising old paintings. It's just really, really satisfying. So I hope you get to try, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, see you soon. Bye.